All right, what up, everybody? John Mostales here. Got my tag team partner, Brian Shade. We're doing a two-man weave today. He's rocking his Philly jersey. Who is that?
Dawkins.
Daryl Dawkins. Oh, it's okay.
Brian Dawkins.
What?
Brian Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins. Daryl Dawkins. Yeah, he's a basketball player. Brian Dawkins. Okay, nice. Dawkins was terrifying. We got an absolute banger Thursday night game. It's week 11. You're either fighting for the playoffs, fighting for seeding, or just trying not to come last place. So we're going to talk some fantasy playoffs. We're going to do some questions. We're going to preview the game, talk week 11. There's nothing that we're not covering. We don't have Jason here, our angel of death, to cover the injuries. So me and Brian are going to try and pick up the slack, but he just let me know that he is not on top of the injuries. So the slack is going to be light. Brian, what up?
Not much. I'm excited about today's game. It's not only am I an Eagles fan, but it's an actually pretty good matchup of two NFC East teams that have been doing pretty well. Offenses have been pretty good. Defenses are improving. I'm excited for a good game, which I guess past 2 weeks we've had pretty good Thursday night games, but previously it's been kind of stinkers, so it is nice.
No. This has been the best Thursday night football ever, right? We had that Falcons game where Kirk threw 500. There's been a lot of really good games this year. I wrote about it. The Thursday night football is back. I mean, usually it's like Titans, Panthers,
Titans, Jags is the prototypical, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? I love this game. We're gonna get into it. No, we won't jump into it right now because there's a lot to like. We'll do some math. We'll do some vibes, right? We'll keep Jason alive here, just in spirit only. But so quick injury roundup. There wasn't that much this week. Phil, anything on Philly's side? Devontae Smith had a hammy, I think.
Yeah, they did the same thing last week where he was, I think, maybe out of practice, limited, and then practiced in full. This week he was out of practice, limited on Wednesday, and then they took him off the injury report. So I just think it's a bunch of maintenance. I mean, they had an early bye, so I think a lot of the early bye teams you can see probably doing some injury maintenance and practice as we near the end of the season.
Okay, yeah, and a lot of the stuff is really in the game of the year, right? We got Chiefs, Bills. It's just always fireworks, right? Keon Coleman's already out. Amari Cooper said he's going to try to play. I think Juju Smith-Schuster, he's been out. He's going to try and play. Isaiah Pacheco, they opened that practice window. I think he might even play.
I saw he was potentially – they don't expect him to play this week, but it's one of those he'll practice. If everything looks great, maybe he'll play, but I expect that to just be they open the practice window this week. They're getting him limited practices, and then next week be more of a full go.
Yeah, I think it probably depends who it's up to, right? I'm sure Pacheco would want to play in this game, but Hunt's been playing well, right? There's no real need to rush him back. And then Dalton Kincaid left the game too. So, right, Dawson Knox, potential huge tight end pickup if he can't go. And I think that was most of it. Aaron. Oh yeah. So Tyreek Hill. Let's talk Hill. So Hill's got a torn ligament in his wrist from when he got arrested allegedly. He was able to play, but do you think he's did he hit that next step in his career where he's kind of like that post peak twilight?
I don't know if it's that. I think if Tyreek was on a team that was winning more, you'd see more out of him. Not to say he's throwing the towel in, but he's only got so much longer in his career. The Dolphins aren't doing that great. He finally got Tua back, so he seems to be a bit more motivated. But I just think he's more motivated when the team's winning. Not to say he's a front runner, but when you're that age and you aren't doing as much, I just feel like your team's not doing too well. I feel like you're less likely to try. I mean, look at Devontae Adams. I think that's a similar situation where he was kind of thrown in the towel, and then boom, he's on with Aaron Rodgers again. He's doing better. I just think it's a situation. I mean, it sucks for any Hill owners. If you're a winning team right now, I would see who you can trade some hot player who you thought was only going to be a flex play. See if you can get him. People are pretty down on Hill. I would think he's going to bounce back. They have a pretty good schedule.
I've been saying that kind of for weeks. I bet him his yards are 70. And it's not like you can't see it on the field, but he's not getting those downfield targets. He's kind of getting more with Huntley. I've been saying he's gonna pop for weeks, and I'd rather flip and be on the side of, saying it's not gonna happen rather than wait. But you're saying he'd buy low, right?
Yeah, and I also think maybe Tua's, not to say he's scared not to think about him, but like they've been getting the ball out really quick on that offense ever since Tua came back. Like A-Chain's receptions, he had like 5 receptions for 15 yards. Like that's nothing, but they're just dumping the ball off more. I wonder if like Tua's gotten hit a few times. He even tackled somebody in a terrible form. Like I wonder if the moment he gets back into kind of like, all right, I think I'm okay, whether it's good or not for his future health, I think you might see him stay in the pocket a little bit longer and take some of those deeper shots. I just think right now they're a bunch of the short stuff is how they've been going. So, I mean, yeah, with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, you don't need as much time to wait for them to get downfield, but hopefully they start dialing up more of it.
Okay, but let's just play. It's my favorite game. So let's say you were trying to trade for Tyreek, right? What would you dangle? Like DK Metcalf? Is that too much? He's hurt,
Um,
so
I mean, I would do him just because he's hurt. I'm trying to think who I would offer.
like Devontae Smith, who would say no? If I offered you Devontae for Tyreek, who's saying no?
You offered me Devontae.
Sure.
I'd probably say no. I don't
Okay.
actually like. We'll see how the Eagles' offense kind of comes, but now that they're getting more healthy, I feel like Devonta is more of like a low end wide receiver too, compared to what he was when if Goddard or Brown is out, Smith does wonderful.
Sure, of course.
If everyone's healthy, then I think he's more of low end.
Same with Waddle on the Dolphins, right? They got so
Yeah.
many mouths to feed. He's the odd man out. So let's stay on Tyreek for one more minute. So what kind of team? Where would you want to be in the standings if you wanted to try and trade for Tyreek? Right, you're at the
One of the
top.
Yeah, I'd say one of the better teams. Like one player who I think has been hot. I don't know if everyone else realizes he's this hot is Cortland Sutton. Like he's been killing it.
Yeah,
Bo
no,
Nix
yeah.
has been doing better, and like maybe somebody loves that. I I think that type of player is someone you try to dangle. Somebody who's probably came into the season wide receiver 3, has been killing it as of late. I think those are the players. I'm not forcing it for Tyreek. If I don't get Tyreek, I don't get Tyreek. Like you can lose with him on your team. That's fine by me. It's more of like an upside play.
Yeah, obviously, no, for sure. I mean, healthy Tyreek, he's more likely to get over 100 yards than under 100, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. And then Aaron Jones was the only other guy, right? He got carted off, but then he came back. They got Cam Akers, they got Ty Chandler. I mean, Jones has always kind of been a band aid.
That just scares me because what was it, chest or ribs?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like you're a running back. What if you just get nailed there again? To me, he's just more of a like in my model. I'm pretty sure I downgraded him volume wise instead of say he was supposed previously he's been getting like 50% rush share, 10% target share. I've probably downgraded it to more like 40 and 8 just to like you just never know. And I feel like that's a safe way of if you can probably downgrade Jones a little bit with all the injuries.
So yeah, in those injuries, we'll stay on that for a second. So how do you respond? So like Brian Robinson Jr. tonight, right? Missed 2 weeks, has been a great, like a high end RB2 all season, touchdown machine, right? We know the Commanders like to run, but come back from an injury. What do you put him at? 80% of what he would normally get, or you play it more cautious?
Yeah, I would say normally I like in this case, Jeremy McNichols was kind of the one who's been in for him. Instead of Robinson getting like a 50 to 55, I put Robinson more at like a 40% rush share and McNichols at like 15.
Okay.
And then keep Eckler where he is. Maybe when Robinson gets more involved, Eckler will come down a little bit. But like in these types of situations, I try to kind of ease him in. I'd rather be wrong about I'd rather be lower in projection than I would be higher, just because I feel like kind of the mental side of fantasy where it's like everyone's pumped for CMC to get back last week. Like everyone's plugging him in the lineup. Like you just
Sure.
never know. And I want to be way safer about that. Like what if he gets hurt real quick? Like in injuries in general, I tend to like at least decrease the projected workload by like 20%, whether they're like, especially in their first week back.
Yeah, err on the side of caution. I mean, how often? I can't even name an instance where a guy came back from injury and then went off. Right? CMC had 100 yards, but he wasn't rushing great and he didn't score. So it's
Mhm.
essentially we're all happy you roster him, but it wasn't a banner. We weren't hanging a banner.
Yeah.
All right, we got some questions. Let's just jump right in here. Anthony gave us a nice pre-question. Thank you. What up? Win now dynasty question. Oh God, 12 team, half PPR, 2 flex spots. I moved my 2025 first, presumably late, and Brandon Ayuk, who's out with ACL, for a late 2025 second, and Devontae Smith. Good move. I don't, Brian. You tell me.
I like it. Just like, so you have a late, all right, so it's a late second, he thinks, too. I mean, especially if you're win now, you basically downgrade, I don't know, 12 picks. You still have a pick, which is another shot in the dark, and you get somebody who can play this year. And for like, I'd say they're at least within like 5 of each other in dynasty rankings for wide receiver. So I don't think it's like, I don't even know if it's a downgrade, to be honest. I just
Sure.
think
Yeah.
it's,
Especially
I
with
would
the
do it.
Niners, right? Ricky Pearsall looks great. Juwan Jennings, like Ayuk, he might be. Who knows what he'll be next year, right? So
Yeah. I mean, he got paid, but ever
yeah,
since he got paid, he's done nothing really.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. This trade might be above our pay grades.
I love Dynasty, but the like one massive Dynasty league I was in, everyone kind of left. So I was bummed.
Oh no, that was when you had to prepay 2 seasons for. Did you get the money
Yep.
back?
Yeah, it's just in fan tracks, but
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, let's move on. Thanks, Anthony. Let's see. What do we got here? All right, Matt Carmody. Nice picture. Love dogs. We love dogs, right?
we love
We should just
them.
call the podcast "We Love Dogs." All right. You got one in there. I got one in
Yep.
there. At tight end, would you start Ertz over Ferguson? Oh God, who's quite questionable with an illness and plays on Monday night. Also, Knox and B Wright on waiver. Who's B Wright?
He's the backup to the Lions. He's with Laporta probably out, not
Mm.
confirmed, but probably.
Okay, so we got Ertz going tonight, who hasn't done anything at all lately, but kind of revenge game against Philly, whatever that's worth. Jake Ferguson, I mean, Cooper Rush had what 65 passing yards, he had negative fantasy points, so you got to assume he'll be a little better. But I don't know. What are we? I think. What are we doing here?
I still like Ferguson. I mean, it's ugly, but he's the second option on the team. Ertz is not close to the second option. I mean, so Ertz has been. I can try to find real quick his target share on the season. And actually, what do you think his target share is on the season?
12.
It is 20%, almost
Oh
20%,
wow, Jesus.
19.64. Like,
Okay.
again, it's not been pretty. It's not like he's winning anyone your league, but he's last week he was 25% target share. He's involved. It's just like one catch for 6 yards. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not. It's like he gets a bunch of catches for 6 yards. He hasn't really been the red zone threat. So like,
Okay, well let's assume if Dalton Kincaid's out, we're doing Knox, right?
yeah, but you can't make that decision. Like you're making it tonight. Basically, is the issue.
Sure. Okay. So I would punt it, right? You really
Yeah,
you want to see you want some more information. Um, right, Ferguson Monday Night Football, but realistically, yeah, you want to wait and see. I would not start Ertz because he's just got the lowest upside, and right, you got a good chance Laporta or Kincaid are out, and then you can grab one of Knox, who's a big touchdown threat, and then
yeah, I like that
Ferguson.
strategy.
Yeah, Ferguson's
Like, I
probably going
don't.
to play anyways, right? He's sick now.
If Ertz like, what's Ertz going to get 4 for 40 and a touchdown? Like, you're not going to be the most bummed. Like that's kind of I feel like high end. It's like you're
Yeah,
not going to be
super
the
high
most.
end.
You're not going to be the most bummed if you miss out on. Okay, that's 14 PPR points. Like you'll be fine. But I agree with punting it. Knox and Wright have pretty good upside, just given their situations. Especially Brock. Like I have Wright currently projected over Ertz, just because They're playing the Jags. They're projected to get 30 points. Like, it's supposed to be a blowout.
Yep.
So you could see him playing a lot.
Okay. Well, this is a lot of questions. This is a lot of. There's too much talk for a bunch of guys who aren't going to score 10 points, maybe even combined. All right, let's move on. We got Dylan Finn. Start one. Oh my God, you put a lot of time in this. All right, let's try and break this down. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, flex. So, where are the wide receivers? But okay, full PPR. Okay, so we're starting 1 QB. We got Daniels or Herbert.
I'm going Daniels.
I'm going Herbert. I mean,
Philly's defense has been very good recently. I just don't know if, like, also the past 3 teams they've played haven't been the best offensively.
Okay, but Daniels has to rush it, right? If Daniels isn't rushing it, we're taking Herbert, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Daniels hasn't really been running it. He's got the ribs, right? He's. I did the preview, but he hasn't had many rushing yards, right? I bet it's under 45. And Herbert's been slinging it, right? Lamar just threw for 4 or 5 touchdowns versus Cincy. That's got shootout potential, and Herbert's been really, really, really good lately.
Yeah, I mean, he's been top 10 quarterback, I think, this year, and especially recently.
So what if we're talking game script, though? I really like Philly in this game, right? So negative game script. Daniels is throwing. Like, what do you put his line at today?
What did I put his line?
Or just spitball him, or we can do the math.
I mean, I actually have him pretty low in rankings this week.
I do too.
Eagles defense has been solid.
Been unbelievable.
I mean, I have Herbert third this week, so never mind. I guess I would go with Herbert.
So we did that part. Boom. We're Herbert over Daniels. Okay, running backs. We got Dobbins, since he's rushy, he's not bad. Jacobs, Chicago. They're kind of a run funnel. Kenneth Walker, San Fran. We're taking 2 running backs. Can we rule anyone out? I mean,
I'm going, and Jacobs against Chicago is pretty tough matchup, but I still think I don't want Dobbins this week. Gus Edwards came back, and I think he's going to take more of the work.
Yeah, he had 11 carries.
It almost looks like Dobbins is kind of worn out.
Yep.
I'm not. That's just it's going off vibes, in my opinion. But I feel like he's been a bit more worn out. He hasn't split as many carries as they probably expected him to. Jacobs, I have higher. Walker, I mean, I just think he's an auto start, so I would go Jacobs, Walker, then Dobbins.
Yep. Even though defense-wise, the one you'd rather run against is Cincy over Chicago and San Fran, right?
Yeah.
And then game script, who's more likely? Green Bay should be up on Chicago. Seattle's probably going to be down on San Fran, but Walker's been really good in the passing game. Jacobs and Walker, bench Dobbins. We're aligned there. Okay, tight end. So we're starting 1 tight end. We got Ferguson. We covered Hunter Henry versus. I mean, just Hunter Henry season, right? I know. Who was the other guy who played well? Austin Hooper played well last week, but
I just feel like all they've been doing recently is throwing it to the tight ends. And like tight ends, running back, and then like 1 wide receiver each week. I feel like it switches off between Pop Douglas and Booty. They just switch off being involved, but otherwise it's just been tight ends every time, a running back and then a wide receiver get involved.
Yeah, especially with Ferguson's illness and the Monday night, Hunter Henry all day, right?
Yep.
All right, flex. Okay, we got leftover running backs. So it's J.K. Dobbins, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins, Tank Dell. Okay. This is tough. I don't know. Tank Dell didn't do much, but he should have had that open touchdown. But now we got Nico back. DeAndre had that blow-up game. Then he was okay last week. McLaurin's been really steady. And Philly's not great versus number 1 receivers, but
they're pretty. I think Chase just went off on him once, but Chase has gone off on everybody.
Yeah, that's true. But I think is Darius Slay playing? He got hurt last week.
I am not sure. I mean, I think the rookie's been playing better than Slay.
True. DeJean, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Mitchell.
It's good to be an Eagles fan.
Yeah. DeJean's been more the slot receiver, so I just think he's he'll match up against whoever's in the slot, and then you have he's dropped like 4 interceptions this year, but I mean he's been killing it in coverage.
So what are we doing here? So best matchups got to be Tank versus the Cowboys, right? Because the Cowboys are just terrible. So no, DeAndre Buffalo. Like I just think that's gonna be a low scoring game. I don't know. What are you doing here?
I'm trying to pull it up. I mean, I think I am going because who's a leftover? Dobbins was a leftover. He was at like 12.
McLaurin.
Yeah. Then Terry. My guess is Dell. Like just off of my memory, I'm pretty sure Dell is probably gonna be the highest. I don't like Dobbins that much. Hopkins, yeah, he's looked pretty good, but like I feel like that game's just gonna be an ugly like 20-17, and then you're just gonna be happy with whoever wins the game. I don't think there's gonna be that much fantasy. Yeah,
Who's got the most upside?
Dell.
Okay.
I think having Collins back probably helps him because now you don't have Diggs. So Dell is like the kind of for sure wide receiver 2. Collins is going to take the top corner. I just think Dell's got better matchups. He's going against Dallas, which
that a lot of points.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we said we like Herbert, then we like Jacobs and Walker, we like Hunter Henry, and then Tank Dell. But if you wanted to go DeAndre Hopkins, I wouldn't blame you because we know Mahomes is showing up in this game, but it's one of those I think where everyone's like, oh, 2 best quarterbacks, offense is shootout, but it's really I think it's going to be a defensive game, and it's just going to be a lot of running the ball, punting, and then fourth quarter maybe we get some fireworks.
Yeah, okay, I think fourth quarter is gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if you could turn that game off until fourth quarter and just be happy watching that.
Well, I won't be doing that, but okay.
But yeah.
Okay, Dylan, thank you for the question. That was very well crafted. Okay, Mr. Magic. Okay, Mr. Magic. All right, let's go. 7-3, tied for second in Start 8 league. 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex. My team is JD. Who's JD? JD Daniels, Kamara, CMC, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, D Hop, Josh Downs, probably Devontae Smith, Cedric Tillman, Hawkinson. Should I buy low on CD if I'm contending? No, right?
I mean, it depends. If you can get him for downs, sure.
Yeah, if you can get him for downs. But okay, well, let's say Flacco starting the rest of the season. Would you even trade him for downs?
He's not. They already said Richardson's starting.
Okay, let's play my game.
I'm not a big downs guy. I just don't.
That's true. Jason.
I don't think that passing offense is that attractive. Like, I think Pittman at some point, if he's healthy again, will steal a little bit from downs. They're going to get Adonai Mitchell more involved. Yes, Downs has done well. His stats recently have looked good. I just don't. It's just not like I'm willing to lose on that. Like if Josh Downs beats me in the playoffs, by all means, all praise Downs. But like I'm just not. I'm not betting on Downs.
No, with Anthony Richardson, it's a full fire sale. I don't want Pittman. I don't want Mitchell. I don't want Downs. I don't want Alec Pierce. I mean, he might have 4 completions, right?
Jonathan Taylor is going to be the one that looks the best because of him. Because like they're rushing EPA and all the other nerd stats. Like it's been so much better with Richardson just because his threat of pulling it and running has made Jonathan Taylor so much better.
Sure. Then the only worry is goal line. Then if Richardson vultures.
Yeah.
Like how Hurts has been doing, right?
They don't like Hurts. I feel like Hurts is more of like a short down. Like he almost plays like a fullback and is short down rushing. Richardson's not been that. I feel like he hasn't scored that many or vultured that many.
No, for sure. But it's on the so this is like a 3-parter. He says, or should I sell high in CMC? I mean, you held him all year, right? Reap the rewards, or he gets hurt, right? Don't bail now. Don't bail now. I know when it's highest, it's probably when you should sell the stock, but
I mean, I don't even think this is selling high. I think he hasn't scored yet, right?
Yeah.
So, like he's going to have a game where he scores 2 touchdowns and is over 100 yards from scrimmage. maybe then if you can get the farm.
Yeah, who? There's nobody above him.
If you can get like a Josh Allen, or like if you can get like, I mean, you even have Jaden Daniels. You can get a Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen plus an RB1, sure, sell him.
Okay, sure. And then he says, so someone offered him DK, Mason, and Waddle. So Jordan Mason, I guess, yeah, for the stash, I guess, the handcuff, for Devontae Smith, Xavier Tillman, and Jacobs. I don't know. DK, Mason, Waddle. What are you thinking here?
I mean, I'm just trying to think like who are you starting? So you're starting Kamara and CMC at your 2 running backs. That's pretty given.
Yeah.
And then you're probably starting Cup.
Yep.
Evans is hurt still.
Yep. So and
And then it's between D Hop, Smith, and Downs. And then you would be trading away Smith, Tillman, and Jacobs.
I mean, it's kind of a trade just to trade, right? I get, your team's great. You got CMC back. The only thing I'd be doing is maybe trying to upgrade my QB, right?
I mean, I like Jaden. Like, there's not many people you can upgrade more than Jaden Daniels from like a season long. I don't hate it. This definitely hires your floor because you're guaranteed to have the 49ers running back in Mason and CMC.
Yep.
Then your starting lineup gets slightly better at the moment because instead of starting Smith, you're starting DK. But that's kind of like, to me, it's all right. I'm giving up Jacobs to upgrade between D Hop and Waddle, or to upgrade between Smith and Tillman to DK and Waddle. That's close to me. If this were my team where I have CMC, I'm doing this just because
just to get Mason.
That safety is huge for me. And yeah, I'm probably overpaying, but I think you have such depth, it's okay to overpay to have a slight upgrade plus safety.
It's also start 2 flex too, right? But so I maybe you try and shrink this trade and just try and just get Mason or Mason and DK. Right, depends where this. Really, you should be looking at the lat. Well, he's got Mason, so that's what you want. But when you're 7-3, right, be looking at the team that's 4-5 or 4-6, right, and then try and take their injured guys.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost reject this now. See if you can do Tillman Jacobs for DK Mason, because Mason to him has zero value pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Jacobs,
He's probably trying to drop him.
Yeah, Jacobs is a very startable running back. So you're basically giving a flex level receiver at the moment and a startable running back for a better receiver and somebody who doesn't really have that much value to him. So I would almost see if you can call their bluff and go for DK Mason for Jacobs Tillman.
Perfect. I kind of got confused. There's sometimes too many moving pieces for me. I got cross-eyed. Okay, let's go move on here. Furious. What up, my man? Most active guy in the league. Love it. Hey, guys, I need one for a flex. Awful choice. I'm between Goddard and Christian Watson, 12-team full PPR. I mean, Christian Watson's kind of my guy, so I'm going Watson. Not the best matchup with the Bears. I'd also want to check the weather because it's Chicago. But, Goddard, he hasn't really done much. He scored last week, but he's the odd man out, right?
Yeah, I think you're not getting that much lower of a floor with Watson, but your ceiling's way higher. I think I'd just go with Watson.
Yeah, I was just looking at my high stakes league. Yeah, I'm benching Watson right now, but I might end up starting him. It's just shitty when they got all those weapons going, and it's Russian roulette. And you're picking the bullet.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, Watson. Okay, what do we got? Tyler Sperry. Is it okay to start 3 in one game? Hurts, AJ, and Commander Kicker. I mean, Kicker doesn't really count, so right. And Hurts and AJ is the greatest stack in the world. So
yeah,
you came to the wrong podcast.
I am very for ultimate stacks. So
Brian invented the super stack.
Yeah, I invented a whole team stack. I mean, I didn't invent it. I actually stole it from a buddy in one of my leagues. He did it with the Bills, and he's made the playoffs every year pretty much. That's mostly Josh Allen, but still, yes. It is more than okay. The Commanders kicker, I feel like you can find a better one because pretty sure Seibert or Seibert, who they have had, has been hurt. I think he's definitely out. So make sure you double check that. I accidentally started him in one of my leagues last week.
It's the worst.
But yeah, yes, start it. I think you can find a better kicker, but does it really matter that much? No. But
let's dive into the kind of the crux of this. So what if you had Hurts, AJ, Devontae Smith, right? Or would you maybe not start Devontae, start someone a little worse just to be a little diversified in case something terrible happens?
No, because I mean, yeah, the scary thing if you start all three of them is what if this is a Saquon Barkley game where he just scores everything?
Yards.
Yeah. And then, okay, you miss out. But I just think, I mean, last season, AJ Brown absolutely murdered their rookie cornerback I forget his name, but he was this super skinny rookie cornerback. Just absolutely destroyed him, just bodied him kind of the whole game, dominated him. I just think he's going to go off in this game. Devonta, they have a high enough over-under in this game that I'm just going to start all of them.
Yeah, I mean, would you start the Commanders kicker just so you could start the injured Commanders kicker just so you could have the AJ Hurts stack?
I mean, yeah.
Right?
You're not giving up on that. I just think he's yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this game in a minute, but yeah, I mean, AJ's gonna cook. Hurts has been cooking. Hurts is QB1 this week. I did the rankings. AJ's definitely high up in the wide receiver rankings. This is a Philly get everyone in game, unless it's Goddard. Okay, so Toddy said also Knox if Kincaid is out or Henry if healthy. Okay, so yeah, let's say Kincaid's out. Are we doing Knox or Hunter Henry? Right, that's kind of a fun one.
Henry,
okay.
I mean,
floor and upside.
Yeah, I just think he's the number one option on that team. I mean, maybe if Kincaid and Coleman's already out, so if Kincaid and Cooper is called out, maybe
Cooper's gonna play.
But yeah, I just don't think it's you don't know that Knox is a top 3 option in that offense. You know Henry's the number one. Yeah, okay. It's way different offenses, but like we said earlier, I think it's going to be a 20-17 game, so I just don't see there being that much value.
Yep. But we know Allen does looking Knox in red zone, right? He is kind of he's got Mark Andrews light kind of, right? Mm-hmm. So he also says, a lot of questions, Tyler. I have Gonzalez who kicked for Washington last week and dropped 20 points. Okay.
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, I don't.
Okay. Sounds great. Start him.
Yeah, kickers are tough because it feels like you're always chasing points.
Yeah, although I don't like Washington in this game. I like the Philly D. This is not a game where I would want to start a Washington kicker personally. Yeah. But we're going to talk about that game in a second. So, Mr. Magic, so J.D. Smith and Jake. Okay, who's J.D. Smith, or is this J.D. Wait, I don't understand this question.
So K9, is that Kenneth Walker?
Okay.
Smith and I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna have to help us out. We're not. My brain just broke. I was like, is this a basketball question?
I mean, there's so many Jalen's.
Jalen Hurts, and Kenneth Walker.
Nope. I mean, yeah, I'd love to get Jalen Hurts in any league.
So unless J.D. Smith is code for Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Okay, let's just jump in. We got Thursday night game. The lines move up to 4. Eagles at home. Playing the Commanders, divisional game, I think last week. Okay, Daniels and Devontae Smith. Oh, Jaden Daniels, obviously. That's literally threw us off. That should have been pretty easy to figure out. Sorry. So Jaden Daniels, Devontae Smith, and Jacobs for Jalen and K9. I mean, it depends on the league settings, but I'm not giving up Jalen Hurts right now.
I mean, so is this someone trying to get you to trade?
Yeah, I'm always bad at this.
Well, this is the same team that he had. I would almost see if you can keep Smith, and I'd rather see if you can keep Smith and sub in Downs, because if you can get Jalen and Smith and Jalen and Devontae, you basically get a stack there. like I think Kenneth Walker is better than Jacobs. Maybe I'm wrong. And if you can, I would see if you can get out of doing Devonta just to see if you can keep that stack.
I love that. Yeah,
I would
swap
love to do that.
downs. Swap downs for Devontae. It's a win-win, and Brian's that's a triple win.
And I also I'm curious what you think of this. I'm in 2 leagues where I had Anthony Richardson and kind of a nobody at QB, and I've been trying to think my flexes are stacked. I have leagues where I can bench Zay Flowers if I want to. This 12-team leagues. How it's so hard to value QBs when you're trading them for a flex. Bo Nix, Drake May, and Anthony Richardson are my 3 QBs in a league where it's I just don't know who to start.
Well, matchup wise, you start Knicks at home, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, I'm just leaving. He's got to prove it twice before I'm starting him. And then May, yeah, I mean May's been pretty solid, right? He had 94 rushing yards 2 weeks ago, 25 last week, 24 because he kneeled. My buddy lost a big bet because he had 25 rushing yards and then he kneeled to 24. He may have quit gambling. But I mean, I like you got three QBs who have been pretty well. I just did the QB rankings. Knicks and May were surprisingly high. So if you can kind of game matchup wise where you're just getting the best possible, I mean, both have great rushing floors. It's ugly when you start them, but then they claw their way to 17 points.
Yeah. I mean, no one's accepted anything. I've sent some offers out to see if I can one guy has Purdy and Hurts, so I just saw if I could get either one of them.
Yeah, both have had their buys, so.
Yeah. So, but I can't get anything to work. And I have another.
Are you trying to get Hurts though?
I mean, I tried it for both. There was one actually in our league. I accidentally kind of left the trade open because I didn't realize. Bucky Irving, because I need another wide receiver. I ended up offering Bucky Irving for Amari Cooper. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm a big Bucky guy, especially with all the weapons out. He's just checked down city for Baker, right? Bucky's had multiple receptions. He scored. It's him and White as one of the best dual backs. But I mean, if you're going to be in playoffs, Cooper's going to get right.
But my running backs are Chubb, CMC, and Connor.
So you're fine. Yeah. Okay. I mean, but yeah, and you might sneak into playoffs now, right? Too, right?
Somehow I'm 6-4. And I mean, past 3 weeks, I've beaten the 3 teams ahead of me in standings, and I'm 5th.
Okay. Yeah. So CMC back. That Cooper's a long play, right? He's anytime you get Josh Allen, right? But schedule wise, I'd want to see it. But yeah, Bucky's been great. I mean, you probably could have gotten a little more considering how well Bucky's been playing, and Cooper's at the lowest. So
I sent that trade end of last week, and then it was just still up in the air, and right after Bucky went off, the guy accepted. I was
I got screwed by that too. I needed a wide receiver because I was playing the first place team and I needed to win. So I offered Derek Carr in a super flex for Jordan Addison because I just wanted it for the week. And then the week goes by and Carr plays well. Then he accepts it, but I didn't want to do it anymore. So.
Yep. Reminder to don't leave your trade offers going over the week or over the weekend.
All right. Okay. We got a couple more questions here. Jesse B. I unfortunately have Saquon and AJ Anderson. Why is this unfortunately? I don't understand. No one is giving me any good offers for him. I think it's okay to have both of them. Why are you guys running away from these Philly guys? The Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now. I think they're going to rout Washington tonight. They run up the score. Saquon's going to score. AJ's scoring. Right? It's do they cancel each other out a little bit? Sure, but you're guaranteed 20 points from one of them almost every game?
Yeah, I mean, I would just as a cautious Eagles fan, they're not the best team in the NFL right now. So let's bring that down a little. But
the greatest team ever summoned.
Yeah, you have the way I think of it is how are you going to get killed? If the Eagles put up an average of 28 points a game or 24 points a game, most likely one of those guys is going to get a touchdown every week. And then the only way you get hurt is if Jalen Hurts rushes for all the touchdowns or everything goes to Devonta Smith. That's happened once or twice this year. I just think they're both wide receiver and running back ones. They're top 12 at their position. Just
Yeah.
keep them.
So you're probably in a great playoff spot too. The only thing I'd say is you look to the playoff schedule, right? Eagles. I'm looking at Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys. So the only possible thing, Steelers got a great D. If you run into it, maybe it's bad weather game, right? AJ's a little muted. Saquon, it's like 15 carries, only 50 yards. That's your only real worry, and I think that's probably it's like an 8% worry, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody offers you the moon, I don't know who'd you sell high on. I'm not trading AJ, even though he screwed me 2 weeks ago, right? Saquon, maybe maybe if you could get two, like what if you got Bucky Irving and Rashad White? Would you do that for Saquon?
No.
Okay.
I think Saquon's RB1 rest of season.
Okay. Well, what about the Lions? What if they offer David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs?
I mean, unless like you only have Saquon, that's your only running back on the squad that's even worth thinking of putting in a flex position, then sure. But
I would say Saquon's been so great all season. Like selling high at a elite running back isn't a terrible move, right?
yeah, I mean, one thing if you want to trade one of them, I almost like the idea of seeing if you can trade AJ for a receiver and Hurts. Because if you have Jalen and Saquon on your team, you're pretty much guaranteed, however the Eagles score, you're probably getting a piece of
it. Yeah.
Like whether it's a Hurts running, Hurts passing, or Saquon rushing, like you have a 98% chance of getting like all of the touchdowns that they score. That's the only thing I would think of doing.
Okay. And then, they're home Steelers too. So, they just gave up 27 to a Commander. So it should be, I wouldn't worry. I mean, I don't know where this Philly worry is coming from. I feel like people are trolling you, Brian. If you have Saquon and AJ on the same team, congratulations. That's the only thing you should do. Oh, it says, so for AJ, I mean, rather keep Saquon. Yeah, I wouldn't trade AJ. He's like, unless maybe today he goes 150, 2 touchdowns, and somebody offers you the moon.
What if you got Tyreek and CD?
Oh, I mean, I guess I don't know, man. I know the Cowboys have a good playoff schedule. I think both.
It's a fun one.
It is, but you're probably like you're getting a lot of magic beans, right? You already got the Giants. You got the giant stock or whatever it's called already. I don't know. I would just try and get somebody not to propose that to me because I'd probably be forced to accept it. Buy low on Tyreek. I mean, we talked about this already, but obviously it's a buy low on Tyreek, but just if buy lows don't always turn into a winner, right? Buy low sometimes just means it's just still going down. So if you can afford to, sure, but like I don't know, I'm not buying low on Tyreek. If I've been watching a lot of Miami games and it's just something doesn't look right. I'm out.
Yeah, if you're buying low, like send an offer that you think is, I mean,
insulting.
Almost, yeah. like I think a Josh Downs or a Cortland Sutton. If someone's that desperate to get off, someone can see the value that Josh Downs or Cortland Sutton has given you the past 3 weeks, and maybe he's desperate. Otherwise, they say no, you move on. Like, don't get caught in a bidding war because you're going to overpay.
Yeah, and also it's like everyone's grossed out by Tyreek this season. Imagine the guy who rosters him, right? It's a poison, toxic asset, right? Yeah. He's probably trying to get rid of him because it's been awful. So, if you got the stones for it, do it. I'm usually the guy who would be buy low on Tyreek, but I just watched so many Dolphins games this year, and it's just something's not right. So, okay, Juan Pina Jr. got offered Brian. Man, you guys love your trades. I love trades. Brian loves trades, so this is the trading podcast. Got offered Brian Robinson Jr. Jordan, crazy big trades. Too much for me. Brian Robinson Jr., Jordan Addison, Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, for Kenneth Walker. What?
I mean, I don't like. I'm gonna need more information.
Also got offered Debo. Okay, let's stay with this one. So Brian Robinson has been great. Addison, I just traded for him. He's not great, especially with Hawk back. Marvin Harrison Jr. is sneaky. I mean, it's a lot for Kenneth Walker. I mean,
but like, is it really gonna? How does this affect your starting lineup? I think that's the way to look at it. If you're if you have two flexes who are awful, like realistically, Addison's just a bench piece, and then it's like, is Marvin Harrison going to be that much better than like my flex position that it's worth downgrading from Walker to Robinson? I would say no. I wouldn't do that.
So what league size are you doing this, right? So Kenneth Walker, so 10 team maybe if you're stacked and you
I
just
would
want the
say over 12 team,
over 12 team,
or like
that's when
14 and above. That's when I might pull trigger.
because you want the depth, right?
Yeah.
Wait, no. Oh, Brian Robinson for Kenneth Walker. Yeah. Okay, because Brian Robinson's what, 80% of Walker?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. It depends if you're dropping players who you playing in the flex already, right? It's kind of a trap trade. So 14 team, you're doing it. 12, no,
No, because
12, no.
I can find other people that will. I mean, that how I think of it is Kenneth Walker starting plus a random bench asset I have versus Brian Robinson and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like that's the way I look at it, and I think Kenneth Walker is probably better, so I'm just doing that.
So he said he also got offered Debo and Waddle for Kenneth Walker. Debo and Waddle. Debo a little bit of a downgrade. He hasn't been rushing well all season. And, the Pearsall and Joan Jennings, Waddle's kind of crap. So I don't want either of those people. No, not over Walker, right? And he's got Stevenson, Kyron. Oh, he's got a lot of running backs. Madison doesn't count. 18 sucks. Kyron and Brees are starting. So I would try. Walker's the guy you want to move.
The Debo, I would do it for Debo. Like, especially if I would rather do the Debo Waddle than the other one because, like, you don't need Brian Robinson. If you already have Stevenson, Kyron, Brees, Etienne, and Etienne and Madison are definitely just their depth. Stevenson's a flex. He just gets so many opportunities, but does.
So it's a 10-team. It's a 10-team league. So no, you don't. Depth doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, if it's with your running backs, I would potentially do the Debo Waddle one.
Okay. And then we got a lot of, and then he also just traded DJ Moore for Stevenson. Still got Walker. My wide receivers are Justin Jefferson. So that's the thing in these 10-team leagues. Like you're stacked. So really, the only evaluation metric should be: are you getting the best player in the trade? Right.
Yeah, in a 10-team, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Right. So what you want to be doing the 3-for-1s, 2-for-1s. You don't want to be taking three guys back. All right.
Yeah, I would trade Stevenson and Downs for Debo. You might not, but I would.
I would do that. Yeah, no, I love Debo. He's just been kind of iffy. All right, we got more trades here. PC, would you trade Jettas for McLaurin and Myers? Jettas is who?
Justin Jefferson.
Is it? Okay. So I would not trade Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there's no way it's somebody else, right? Because McLaurin, I like Jacoby, and I think everyone likes McLaurin. He's been great, but I mean, the only way I'm trading Justin Jefferson is if CMC's on the other end of that, trade proposal.
Yeah, and his comment below where it's like, I have a feeling the offense is like Justin Jefferson is that offense. Hawkinson is a result of whenever Jefferson is quadruple teamed, then Hawkinson will get the ball. Like, that offense is not going away from Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, if anything, it's Jordan Addison who's really going to lose. JJ can't lose. He says he's another bad game. Terry Myers show out once again. I don't think the guy will trade. I promise you, no matter what happens, the guy will take the trade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Jefferson's the guy you want.
I mean, so let's say.
Who would you rather lose on? Like, that's the other thing is, like, who do you want to lose money because of? Do you want to lose money because of you counted on Justin Jefferson, or do you want to lose money because you counted on Jacoby Myers and Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, and I like Jacoby Myers a lot. I think he's actually pretty good. Gardner Minshew's kind of a capable backup. He's the only option there. Well, Brock Bowers. And McLaurin's been awesome since 2 bad weeks. I don't think he's going to I'm not sure what he'll do.
Actually, I have one of my buddies brought this up to me. But not a similar trade, or kind of a similar-ish type trade.
PPR for the Jefferson quest. Sorry, I'm just finishing. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't unless it's Jefferson only gets a 0.1 per reception. We're just.
Would you do? Say you're last place, or you're fighting to not be in last place.
Okay.
Would you do that trade? If your other wide receivers are hurt, I have a buddy who he's fighting for last place, and he was debating trading away Kamara for a few flex level plays. And he's like, the rest of my team stinks. I just need people to start, so I'm not last place with a last place punishment.
Yeah, I think about it. Like Kamara, I might trade, but I'm not trading Justin Jefferson, right?
Yeah.
I bet him every week. Kamara, yeah, because Saints might shut down. I don't think they're any good. I think their defense is terrible. So yeah, Kamara, I would trade. That makes sense. But if I have Justin Jefferson, you're trying to take him. I'm gonna need an elite quarterback, elite tight end, and an elite wide receiver, right? You're gonna have to pry him from my cold dead fingers. Hawk, I think, is only gonna help him. Darnold had no touchdowns, 3 interceptions last week. I know Jefferson has a touchdown a little bit, but it's coming. He's the gold standard, right? So, yeah, T.J. McLaurin and Jacoby Myers is not getting it done. All right, we skipped past here. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. We haven't even talked the game yet. You guys got too many questions, but we love questions. Okay, Calvin Ridley, Cedric Tillman, right? Ridley just had 2 touchdowns. He had that garbage time that that cost me the under, which sucked. Cedric Tillman off the bye. We got Jameis for an extra week against the Saints defense. They just traded Marshawn Lattimore. I'm going Tillman. Are you going to back Calvin Ridley and Will Levis?
I don't know yet. No, I'm going Ridley.
Ridley, wow.
He's had such good volume. I mean, they're both. It's not that much of a difference. It's like a 0.6 points. It's not that much of a difference, but I just think Ridley is the guy now in that offense. He's been fed. Doesn't matter the quarterback, whether it's Levis or Rudolph. They've just been feeding the guy.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can make a nice argument for that. They're playing the Vikings, but they're going to blitz Levis, so maybe Ridley gets some one-on-one coverage, negative game script. He'll probably be throwing. He'll probably have the interceptions, but yeah, Ridley's get the volume. But Jameis, revenge game, right? I think that Saints. I'm going Tillman. He's going Ridley. You can't go wrong either way. Yeah. I mean, Tillman's been great. Ridley just had 2 touchdowns, and he's getting a lot of volume. So, okay, Ridley. I'll go Ridley. We'll both go Ridley, but find a way to start Tillman somewhere. All right. Connor LaRose. Are we dropping Tolbert for Audric Estime? I think we 100% are. Right. We're dropping Cowboys to pick up anyone.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is I don't think Estime is doing that much. Imagine Gus Edwards. That's kind of what I picture. Is he's going to get 10 to 12 carries. He might get a reception. That's about it. Javonte and McLaughlin are still the pass down work. I don't see Estime. They've even come out saying he's the first and second down back. So just know that you're basically counting on Estime getting a touchdown for him to be any bit valuable. I would I'd cycle Estime just in case he has more upside, but both of them, I'm not happy about either one of them. They're just bench assets.
So you weren't using a big waiver on Estime this week. You didn't buy the Kool-Aid.
No, I would have rather picked up a defense for playoffs.
Oh, gross. Okay, fair enough. Dynasty is my life. Okay. 12 team, super flex, standard scoring, 0.5, tight end premium. Jeez. 6-point touchdown, start 3. Okay. I don't know if I can keep up with this, but so Hopkins, DJ Moore, Hawkinson, Lad McConkey, Mark Andrews, Brian Robinson Jr. Can we rule anyone out? DJ Moore, he's been crap. He's pissed off.
I don't know if you can rule anyone out, to be honest.
Okay, we can't rule anyone out. Tight end premium. So I think we got to start Hawk, right? He looked great.
With the premium, yeah. I think Hawkinson's up there. I think Ladd. And
I mean, Andrews just keeps scoring touchdowns.
Between Brian Robinson and Andrews, I guess Brian Robinson, you got to decide now. I'd go Brian Robinson.
Really?
I think Likely's going to play, and Andrews has been better with Likely in or with Likely out. So I just think I'd go Hopkins. Or no, I'd go Hawkinson, Ladd, and B-Rob.
I would go Ladd. I mean, I guess he had a bad matchup. He only had the 2 catches, 2 targets, right? I need I like the matchup though. I'm going I'm going tight ends. I'm going Hawk and Andrews, and then I'm not doing B-Rob because I hate the matchup. I think Philly's going to be rolling. I'm going Hopkins. Hopkins, Mark Andrews for me. So we're aligned on 2, and it's up to you. But I would not start Brian Robinson this week. Okay, boom. Okay, Connor. Jesus, Connor LaRoe. More questions. Pick one PPR. Let's move fast. You got to how quickly you got to leave.
I'm good. I got baked potatoes in the oven. They'll be fine.
Oh, let's take forever.
Yeah.
Pick one PPR. Okay, Rico just said he's getting the work. Taysom Hill. Ooh, this is fun. Your boy Taysom?
No, I mean not over Rico. Like
Dowdle?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean I have Taysom at like 7.5 PPR points, Rico at like 11, and Pearsall is I think around like 8 or 9.
Okay. Rico all day. Okay, we got some thank yous. Appreciate it. Thank you. I agree. Perfect. We like it when you agree. Donnie Wenner. Who's that? Mad? I don't know. I can't read that. Who's 0 on the Magic? Should I start Brian Robinson? Nick Chubb. I mean, Saints are a run funnel. He had the bye week to kind of get fully healthy. He hasn't had a breakout. I mean, I'm starting Nick Chubb over everybody this week.
Yeah, it's Nick Chubb, and I'm pretty sure that's Westbrook on the Thunder. But
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense. Good job by you, Brian. Okay.
Yeah. I know my basketball.
We got Nick Cho. So we got this is the same question. Okay, yeah. It is okay for us. Okay, cool. All right, we are caught up in questions. We're only in a couple more minutes, but if anyone is on Twitter, jump over to YouTube. Also check out the Discord. We'll be answering questions. I don't know if I'll get in for anything Thursday night. I got rugby, but definitely Sunday. We also got our Sunday show. Brian also sometimes makes an appearance, and we laugh at his model, and then he wins money and we lose it. So quick. So let's talk tonight. We got Thursday night. You got any bets? How'd your model do last Thursday?
What was last Thursday? It was
Bengals Ravens game of the year, baby.
Oh yeah. I did not well on Burrow yards, but I did pretty well on the stuff I actually took.
Okay.
Like the weird stuff of Burrow over 2.5 rushes. Got that one.
Oh yeah, you had all weird. Did you like Tanner Hudson or
the one I lost on was Burton over 1.5 receptions? Like
Burton.
Yeah,
I
did
got
pretty
one
well.
early too. But anyway, so tonight, Eagles move, the line's moving. I think Eagles are going to roll. I think they're playing the best football in the NFL right now. Defense is locked. Offense is locked. Hurts is locked. They just got one of their offensive linemen back. And then also Commanders just played a brutal game against Pittsburgh where they ran 45 times. And now they're on a short week. And then the Philly got the Cowboys who rolled over, and they were 7 guys in the third quarter. So it's barely short week for Philly, and I think it's a brutal short week for Washington.
Yes, I agree with all of that. I am just slightly worried. I'm more just the nerves in me, but I mean, I'm starting every Eagles. I'm starting like the 4 Eagles players you would expect to start: Hurts, Barkley, Smith, Brown, just auto starts. Jaden Daniels, he's lower on my list, but like most likely you probably don't have another option for him.
You probably do because you took him in the 10th, right? And then if you took somebody, mid-round, so you might be like a Burrow or Jaden Daniels, right? I wrote today, if you probably been starting Jaden as your first QB, you took second, but this is the week I would look to start your first, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I have him at.
He just hasn't been running, right?
QB 13, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have May and Nix over him.
Right? So did I. It's just matchup, right? I think the secondary's been playing great, right? If they put the clamps on McLaurin, I think game script. I think Philly's cooking, man. It's the break the season into like quadrants, right? And for this little quadrant, Philly, they should have killed Jacksonville. That Barkley fumble, then there was some other stupid stuff that let them in, but like that game was over in the second quarter.
Yeah, also Barkley was down, but that's just my opinion on that fumble. But I mean, yeah, I think it looks good. The bets I have are, I saw one where you can do Hurts anytime with Daniels anytime. It's plus 600.
That's fun because Hurts, really, you're taking Daniels at plus 600, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the mindset.
So that's fun, but I think Daniels hasn't scored in 6 weeks. and he's just Philly's not going to make it easy, but and they're not going to give it. They don't sneak. They don't have the push, right? They just rather give it to Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
that's a fun bet.
I think both of the running backs are pretty solid. Like at least like low end. They're at least flex plays. I think both Brian Robinson and Eckler. Eckler's been doing a good amount in the air. I don't think he's really going to give that up as much. Robinson, before he was out, was a top 20 play every week, probably top 15 play every week.
No,
like
for
he
sure,
was
for sure.
solid. And like that offense was running well. The McLaurin I'm worried about. I don't like they don't have that many other great options. So I think
They don't have any. I
yeah,
don't know how they do it.
even if Slay isn't playing, like you still can put Mitchell on him to shadow him. Then you have other I just think in the passing game, the Eagles defense has done very well. I think Fangio's been doing great on that offense. And I think if they're going to take anyone away, it's let's take McLaurin away and then see if they can beat us on the ground. And then maybe we can just outshoot them in a shootout.
Yeah, I bet Eagles this game. I bet AJ. I mean, the Commanders 28th, I think, against the run. So Barkley's going to run wild. And Philly, Sirianni, he might be a joke, but they play to their strengths, right? Barkley's going to be getting carries, and if he's getting gashed in them, right? There's then play action set up for AJ. I just think this is a bad matchup for Washington and a great one for Philly, even though.
So if you're that heavy on them, how do you feel about fourth quarter kind of garbage time Kenny Gainwell? You're in a super deep league.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's like that galaxy brain thinking, but I mean, Commanders haven't been blown out. Jay Daniels has been great, but I just, Philly's going to be able to move the ball. I think Washington's going to struggle. So yeah, Kenny Gainwell fourth quarter, fourth quarter rush yards, 7. It's probably 7.5. Or Kenny Gainwell to score a TD, right? That'd be fun. But
yeah.
Whenever I start thinking like that, all of a sudden it's Philly, Washington punts it, Philly mucks it, they get the ball at the 5, right? And then there's just all these cheap points. But I think maybe if this was in week 2, I'd take the Commanders to win, right? But right now, I just don't think Washington's running that well, and I just think it's a really bad matchup. Philly at home, the crowd's going to be crazy, right? I'm on Philly all the way. I'm to the point where I'm worried about Saquon's rush yards because I think they're going to be up and it's going to be Gainwell, right?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of to hit one of the last questions because it's this week. Goff over Daniels.
Okay. Yeah, Goff over Daniels. Yeah, I had this very thing. I took Goff and then Daniels back to back, and I've been starting Daniels most of the year. But I'm going back to Goff. I mean, he's at home, right? After the 5 interceptions, get right game.
I mean, let me see the odds real quick. I'm pretty sure they're projected to get 30 points. Vegas has, I think it's 30-17 is the projected score of that Lions-Jags game. That. So that's 30 points for Goff, and then Daniels. I'm trying to see the over-under
22.5, I think.
42.5?
22.5. It's the over's 40 to 50 essentially.
So I mean, yeah, that's an extra touchdown. That's an extra touchdown that Goff and that offense is supposed to get. I think that's valuable to look at.
But is Goff how many passes is he gonna throw in the second half? 5, and 2 will be touchdowns.
I do think, again, this is more the vibes play that we've done in the past. That offense, especially when they're winning by a lot, they give their buddies a touch. You get your little lineman receiving touchdowns. This would be, especially after a 5 interception game, Goff still led them back to win. I could easily see them saying, "Hey, let's see if we can boost his numbers after the week."
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So yeah, I'd go Goff. I'm just I've been cooking on Thursday Night Football, but knock on wood, I'm probably going to be wrong today, even though I don't think I am. But I'm getting rid of all my Washington stock for this week. I'll buy back later. But I just think Philly. I think Philly's going to roll. They got too much momentum. And football is a momentum sport. But what's the most Washington's lost? Like this, have they? Has anyone beat them by even more than a touchdown?
The one stat I did see was Philly's 0-6 against the spread at home this year.
I saw that.
I was
But
like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But then I saw some other ones. I think they cover worse. I don't know. You can play that math. All right, we got one last question. We're gonna go. I gotta get ready. I gotta put my jersey in the dryer. Cook or Jones rest of the season? James Cook, Aaron Jones. I mean, James Cook, right? I mean, I'm worried about Ray Davis a little, but not.
Yeah, I like James Cook just because of the offense. I'm not worried about Ray Davis that much. I just think it's almost like you're spelling Cook, so he's no longer a workhorse, which I think he performs better as anyways when he's got somebody to help him. So I'm going James Cook.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna wrap up this bet. So I mean, I wrote about Terry McLaurin 60 yards over in my preview, but then one of the guys Alex I'm forgetting his name. He's been killing Thursday night. He has him under, so I just said that's a wash. I'm back in. I'm back in Eagles. I'm back in AJ Brown. I'm back in Saquon. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. My big FanDuel bet was Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. Eagles I put to 2.5. AJ Brown 80 yards over.
Yeah, I mean my DraftKings like boosted parlay was Hurts touchdown.
Yep.
Hurts over 25 rushing.
Ooh, nice.
Brian
Adjusted, right?
Robinson over 25 and Jaden Daniels touchdown for plus 825.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I
He's
mean,
gonna be sweating that Jaden touchdown.
I am. That's the one I'm worried about. But I mean, I think more realistic plays. I think I would go probably the over. I like Barkley receptions. I don't know why. I just feel like Barkley receptions this week. I think just getting him the ball in space. He's been a bit banged up. I forget what happened. Was it like last week he came out just precautionary? He got a bit banged up. Short week. Obviously, they were up by a lot. So
Yeah,
maybe if they
running
can
Thursday night running back curse.
yeah, if they can get him the ball in space a bit more instead of just like running him straight into big linemen, maybe you can run him straight into defensive backs. So I don't know the exact line, but I like his over in receptions as well.
Probably 2.5. Yeah. If you can find Saquon longest rush, probably 18.5. I'd like that because he's gonna break one.
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta go. Thank you everyone for your questions. If we didn't get you, hit us on Discord, hit me on Twitter, bug Brian. We had 2-man weave. Hopefully Jason's back next week. But the model, does the model anything jump out at you? You gonna jump on Sunday?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I only really know like more
On Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, biggest thing for me, I have Puka wide receiver 2 overall.
Puka. All right. Let's go. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. We're out. Cheers.